Hello everyone, and welcome to this video. I'm going to explain to you... Oh, sorry, hang on a sec, let me just remove my invisibility cloak. There we go. That's better. Now you can see me, so I can explain to you properly how to play Quidditch. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, isn't that game where they fly around on broomsticks and they use magic? Well, I'm going to explain to you so that you'll be able to play even if you're an absolute muggle, okay? So first of all, how to set up the game. You'll need to split the players into two teams, okay? And they're all going to have different roles. So there'll be chasers, keepers, beaters, and there'll be seekers, okay? And they all use different balls for the game, and they all have different things they have to do. But we'll explain that a little bit later, okay? So, what about the equipment that you'll need? So first of all, you'll need to set up 3 goals at either end, and you can do this using a hula hoop on a stick, and you stick 3 of those at either end, and that's where the players have to try and throw the quaffle through, and every time they do that, they score 10 points, okay? So, a quaffle, what's that? Well, here we have a quaffle from Harry Potter, though in Destination, you can use one of these, okay? So you'll need one volleyball, and this is the ball that the chasers and the keepers are going to throw to one another and try and throw through the hoops, and every time they do, that team scores 10 points, okay? That's the quaffle. The second ball that they have is a bludger. Now this kind of looks quite dangerous. We probably couldn't use this with our students, but we can use one of these. So you can use a dodgeball, you could also use a tennis ball or anything soft, but essentially this is going to be thrown at the players. So something that when it hits them, it's not going to hurt them too much, okay? Now there'll be 2 players on each team that can use this ball, and they are the beaters. So they have to pick up this ball and throw it at any of the other players on the other team. And when they do, that player has to drop any ball that they're carrying, run back to their own base, run back to their own end, touch one of the hoops before they can join in the game. So it makes them inactive for a little moment, okay? And last but not least, of course, we have the golden snitch. Now this is one of perhaps the most important items you have in the game. So you'll have one player on each team that's the seeker, and now their job is to try and find the golden snitch. And when they catch it, that team scores 150 points and the game ends. Okay, so it can be a really important part of the game. But again, we're not going to have this flying, whizzing golden ball flying around. We might have instead one of these. So you can see here we have a player. This could be a leader. In fact, it's probably better if it is a leader. And they can wear a flag belt or a tennis ball in a sock or something like that they can attach to a belt. Okay, and they are going to be the human golden snitch. Okay. Now they don't actually have to stay in the pitch. They can hide anywhere around in the campus, okay? So the 2 players that are the seekers have to run around and try and find this player. When they do, they have to catch them and pull off one of the flags, one of the flag belts off, and that means they've caught the golden snitch. If they do so, their team scores 150 points and the game ends, okay? Let me try and just explain this to you a little bit clearer so that you can see all of the different roles, okay? So here we are, and you can see we've got our Quidditch pitch all mapped out for us and the players all ready to play as well, okay? Then we've got all of the different players. So we've got the chasers, that's the majority of the players, so we've got 3 chasers on either team. And remember, their job is to get the quaffle, and they can pass it between one another as many times as they want. They can also run with it, and they want to run to the other side of the pitch and throw it through one of the hoops, okay? And if they do that, they're going to get 10 points. Yeah, so the same for the other team. We've got 3 chasers on either team. You can have more or less, just adapt it as you need to. The keepers, much like the chasers, so they're dealing with the quaffle, but their job is to protect the goals, the hoops. So they want to try and block any shots that are going to go through the hoops. Okay, we've got the beaters. So we put these in the EF bibs here. There's 2 on each team. And remember, their job is to have the dodgeball or similar, and they want to throw it to the other players. So let's say that this chaser here has got the ball and they're running towards the goal. This beater can have the dodgeball. If they throw and hit that player, they're going to have to drop the quaffle and run all the way back to their own base, touch the hoop, and then they can rejoin the game. So by doing so, they can temporarily be out of the game. Then last, and definitely not least, this is probably going to be the most popular role to play, especially since this is what Harry Potter was. These are the seekers. So we just put a little S on these 2 here. Remember, these players, they don't have to stay within this field. They can search the whole campus, as it were. So you're going to have somewhere a player, and preferably this is best to be a leader, with a flag belt on. So something like this, where the seekers are going to have to try and catch them and then rip off the flags, okay? And that would be the equivalent of catching the golden snitch, okay? So there's one on each team, and again they're going to run around the whole campus looking for the golden snitch. And if they were to catch the golden snitch, then the game would finish, and that team would be awarded 150 points. So a really important role, this one. Okay? Just to make the game last a bit longer, if you do have a leader as the golden snitch, you probably want to hide in a really good area and then only kind of reveal yourself after sort of 5 or 10 minutes. And don't make it too easy to be caught so that the game does go on a little bit longer. Okay? So the chasers with the quaffle, trying to throw it through to get 10 points. The beaters with the dodgeball, trying to hit the other players, which is going to take them out of the game temporarily. And the keepers defending the goals. And the seekers who are having to try and find and catch the golden snitch. So, let's see how this looks into practice. So we're going to have a look at some of our students in Dauntsies, really getting stuck into and enjoying the magic of Quidditch.